Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, my crew. How's it going, y'all? Hey, Mr. Magoo. I don't know how you keep popping into the chat less than 10 seconds after I start the stream. It's incredible. With the 23 watch streak. Hey, Rhiannon Journey. With the 35 watch streak. That's amazing. That's like 2 months. How's it going, everybody? Rhiannon, I wanted to share this with you. These just arrived yesterday. This was like a little gift for myself here. Let me see if I can get the picture. Magoo, you AFK on the page for hours. And when it says streaming, you click. Okay, that's pretty pro. Appreciate your dedication. For sure. All right. Let me see. Yeah, I want to show this set that I just got. It's such a stupid thing, but I saw it and I was like, I want this. I got my Picard teacup set. The classic tea Earl Grey hot cups. They used to be made by Bistro back in the 80s, but now they're made by Bodum. Bodum brought them back. So great. Yeah. I haven't used them yet. They just arrived. I need to wash them out, but I'm very excited. The fact that they're made by a legit company and they're not just some like shitty prop is like very nice. Oh, I swore in the first 7 minutes I'm not going to get any ad revenue. Yeah, these are fun. They had some other stuff. It was this or the Raktajino cups from Deep Space Nine. And I was like, those are fun. Those are fun. They were ceramic. I was like, I could do a Raktajino cup. But this was just like, I saw this and I was like, I have to have that. So good. Did I start and stop the scene briefly or is it just Twitch? I think it was just Twitch. We're multi-streaming to YouTube and Twitch. So if there's a hookup, it's probably, or a hiccup, it's probably somewhere along there. How's the day? It's good, thanks. I slept in pretty late, which is why we're starting late. I was like, I had one of those moments where I was like, let me just rest my eyes for 20 minutes after the alarm goes off. And then it was like 2 hours later, I got up. Yeah, I worked a lot last night. Continuing the refactor. We're looking good on it. I think we'll be ready to start testing stuff today, hopefully. There's a couple of more things we need to work through. We need to rewrite this system, the flood filling system. Oh, excuse me. I'm a little tired. I'm finished with my coffee. I have my last few sips of coffee here. Should have just made tea for the stream. You're learning a speedrun strat for your VBE implementation. 3rd time and it was quicker. Nice, nice. Glad to hear that's going all right. Yeah, so we need to rewrite. This is the copy of the old flood fill system. I need to rewrite it for the new. New. Last night I did the most unfortunate refactor. I was just trying to find and replace instances where it said block forms. And what I accidentally did is I refactored the type. I was like, no, it changed like every piece of code. I was like, oh, writer, sometimes you're too strong. Sometimes your refactoring power is too great. But yeah, we're just gonna find block forms and replace it with block tags. So far, just having one struct that has all the tags on it has been pretty efficient. I feel like someday we'll run into a limitation with that, but right now it's been pretty good. I'm tempted to keep going with that. I've commented out the rooms stuff here, which I think is a little weird. I still don't like the term cutaway rooms. I feel like that doesn't describe what we're talking about, but I think I might call it the room hierarchy. Gordon Freeman. We're with you, Dr. Freeman. Ran and Journey, you're doing pretty good. You pause dev on your game to do a farm sim tutorial. You're converting it to C# as you go and taking notes on how you want to do things differently. It's been good to see how someone else is structuring things to get an idea of a baseline. Oh, that's interesting. That's a really interesting approach. All right, well, blocktags.span has this or this. We're just going to replace this with tags.haul. But yeah, I think we're going to be testing today. I think we're going to be able to put some blocks down, which is good. Magoo, you love farm sims. It reminds you of the times. You were going to do a C# Unity driving sim. You found a preferred C in assembly. You preferred C in assembly. Yeah, I like watching. I like following Randy on YouTube. Randy does a lot of dev, and they do it in C. They use like Odin, or they've done their own implementations of like little engines and frameworks and stuff. And it seems like a really cool thing. I've always just been kind of a game engine script kiddie, so I've never done any real programming like that. Someday maybe, but probably not. I'm building so much tech for this. I feel like I'm going to be able to get so much out of this as long as I'm interested in making games this way. We're going to fix the errors in this, but then we're going to go through and we're going to look at the architecture again in a little bit. Because I've been making a lot of architectural changes because of the simplification of our blocks. I tried to sort out the auto tiling last night and I couldn't do it. Because it seems like it's going to be simpler, but it also seems like each block is going to be responsible for way more context. So I'm like, it's unclear to me. How that's going to work. Magoo, you started coding with web dev? Oh, really? HTML, CSS, then light Java, and then game dev with C#. You then did that for like 2 years until you tried assembly for the fun of it. You liked it and started the OS and learned C. You did touch with coding basic at the National Museum of Computing. You've done bits of Zig, Shell, Swift, Rust, Ada, TypeScript, MS, SQL, SQL. A few others. You forbid yourself from Python. You got to draw the line somewhere. Yeah, I've honestly, my whole life has been JavaScript and C#. So I really only understand one kind of programming language. Like GDScript has been interesting, but it doesn't actually feel that different from anything else I've done. I don't know. I should try more stuff, but to me, I don't know if I love programming for its own sake. I honestly think I'm one of those, I program to do things. Oh, what's this say? I think it needs to say has hull or door. Interior flood fill or block dot has that door. No, I think this can just be one. Yesterday's stream kind of blew up this morning on YouTube. I don't know why, because I don't feel like I did anything interesting yesterday. But a lot of people watched it. For people maybe tuning in and bouncing around and don't know what we're doing, we're like reworking our block system from a system that was like more complex and compound in terms of like what constituted an individual block. It was like multiple pieces that would come together to make a block, which was interesting, but it had a lot of implied structure to it that was kind of awkward. And we're switching to a more simple, a block is just a block. It's just one thing. It's either occupied, it's not. It could be a door, so you could build a door by stacking blocks. You could build a wall by stacking blocks. So we're switching to this kind of more simplified architecture. Big refactor. We're in the middle of it. Rhiannon, that's how you've always learned. You actually started learning programming running through Teach Yourself Visual Basic in 24 hours. Ooh, cool. Took you more than 24 hours. Now I get that. You need to see how everything all works together for things to click. You almost started Python, but Ruby was too beautiful for you to pass up. Yeah, I've never tried those. Hey, Jacob, how's it going? Happy Wednesday. Arneo, what's up? Oh, Arneo tying Rhiannon for the 35 stream streak. Incredible. You guys are amazing. I don't know. I don't know what brings you back every day, but I really appreciate it. This is going to be weird because of...
Maximum what?
I'm going to have to rewrite a lot of this system. Happy few more days till Christmas break day. Nice, nice, yeah. Next week, I'm going to have pretty much all of next week off. So that's going to be nice. I'm looking forward to it. Hull, not null. Hull. Yeah, I don't think any of this is going to work. Especially this part, the 1Z level above. Actually, no, maybe this does work. Huh. Okay. It's naming things that brings you back. Yeah. Yeah, nothing like spending a whole stream naming stuff, right? Naming one variable. The warp redeem brings you back. Yeah, that's how I know No Jewel is in the chat. The maximum warp brings them in. How are you doing, No Jewel? Hopefully still resting on your laurels after getting into the node letter for November. The November node letter. Oh, we got a spam bot. Everyone's piling in here. Arneo. You've also programmed to do things. Mr. Magoo, you're too quick. You're too quick. All right, we're going to blast him. 3, 2, 1. Blasted.
He's dead, Jim.
Rhiannon Journey, it was really you learned basic, then visual basic, then dark basic, the game specific basic implementation, then Ruby on Rails, then Cold Fusion, then PHP, and then you've had to dabble in Python, C#, Dart, Flutter for various things. Yeah, I've never had that kind of variety. Hey, Sapphire, you've been on for 20 minutes, no Discord notification? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Right. All right, let me do that. Well, you all managed to get in here anyway, but yeah, my bad. All right, consider yourself notified. You killing us. You killing us, Magoo. All right, errors out of here. All right, we need to finish setting this up. So I have editor blocks, editor inputs, editor select. I don't know if this is exactly how we're going to structure things. This is what I'm going to do. Oh, excuse me. I've got the yawns. All right, let's get the engine up. I want to try to start drawing blocks around today. That's what we're trying to do. Did you say we might be able to start testing stuff today? Yeah, I'm hoping. I really need to be doing that. The question is, what do we need to do this? We also need to hook up some of the Godot side rendering stuff. Okay, so I have to put this inside the levels structure here, I think. I actually don't know how we decide some of this stuff. Okay, this part's a little tricky. I wonder why people don't use your stream alert method. Your stream alert method is hardcore. How's everyone doing today? Happy Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. It's one of the last weeks of the year. One of the last 2 weeks of the year here. I gotta watch the new Fallout tonight. I heard they dropped it early. I'm excited. I really enjoyed season 1. New Fallout? Yeah, the new Fallout show. The new season dropped like yesterday or something. Yeah, I know. I'm stoked. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed season 1. I'll take a break from my Star Trek TNG Blu-ray full show rewatch. My in order full show rewatch. Take a break from that. Watch some Fallout. All right, so how are we going to handle... So how does the actual rendering pattern work here? We have the game script. Okay, that's here. We know about that. We have the board script. What does the board need to know about? So you grab all the layers in the levels. Block layers.append level.getChild0 as tile map layer. Okay. I don't know if we need to do all of this. I think I might need a little bit of a parallel structure here, because I think we're going to be handling this a little differently. I don't think we're going to be auto-moving the camera up and down the same way we used to, as we were shifting from deck to deck, because now the differences in the levels, or what I'm now calling tiers, the block tiers, is like very small. I don't think we're going to do camera manipulation automatically. Hopium, Half-Life 3. I heard people are talking about Half-Life 3 going to be a Steam Machine launch title, and I'm like, y'all are crazy. That has never panned out. Random Journey, you just watched the newest Glass Knives. The Knives Out. The new Knives Out after going to the last two in the last couple of days. Yeah, I watched that too. Wake Up Dead Man. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. It was good. We love murder mysteries in this house. We're all about it. My girlfriend's been playing a lot of murder mystery games. Where are you in TNG? Pretty early. I think I'm on like episode 5. 4 or 5. Counting the pilot as one episode. Or not pilot, but you know, encounter at Farpoint. I watch one every couple of days, few days. It's been really incredible. It's been very uncanny, actually, watching the remastered Star Trek The Next Generation. Give me some hopium. Yeah. You love the new Onions out. Solid stuff. Not sure if it's better than 2, but it's very good. It's very... I'm starting to see the pattern as far as, like, it's you know, it's always about this kind of group of hangers-on. It's about this like court of hangers-on that forms around some kind of patriarch figure, and like that's the source of all the conflict in every single one of those films, and it's really interesting. I enjoy it a lot, but we gobble up all that stuff. Like, we've watched all the Poirots and Marples and all sorts of stuff. I enjoy it. It's fun. All right, so I don't know how I'm going to uncouple the Godot side of things here, because we have this script that's the tile levels script. We actually modulate in and out the tile map layer, which is really interesting because I don't think we need to do that. I don't think we need to do any of this. Tile levels, hull levels extends tile levels, tile levels. All we really need is this unpack tile map data function. Yeah, all this modulating stuff is not happening anymore. Close. My weird requirement that we do this in parallel, like, I haven't broken the old implementation yet, technically. Like, I'm sure if I ran it now, there would be a failure of some kind, but I've been trying to maintain the old process. You know what is going to break is our whole, like, block palette structure. Because I was thinking about this yesterday. Our block palette is going to become this really interesting, like, prefab palette. Like, the thing where we select, like this thing where we select the different blocks. Because these aren't specific block aspects. They're actually going to become bounds of blocks. So, like, this is like one block. This is like a block stack that's 3 blocks high. This is a block stack that's like 4 blocks high. So I have to rethink how we do this palette as well. There's a lot of stuff that needs to change. I think I'm going to rename this. We're calling this editor blocks. And then I'm going to duplicate this, and it's going to be editor inputs. And I'm going to duplicate this. Oops, not rename, duplicate. And it's gonna be editor select. Hey, Nix. Arneo. The new Knives Out had tons of references to Marple and Poirot and the like. It got you to rewatch Murder at the Vicarage like the next day. Nice, nice. Yeah, I like this stuff. My partner likes it a lot. Like they watch Acorn TV. They watch all the British detective shows, of which there are many. There's apparently a new one called Murder Before Evensong, which stars Neville Longbottom as like a priest solving murders, like Father Brown style. Yeah, there's a Father Brown reference in Wake Up Dead Man. It's very self-aware. I mean that's very on point for just modern cinema and fiction. We're all there's a lot of meta, very self-aware references, but I enjoy it so far. Yeah, I did send the Discord notification pretty late. You got it. You made it, Nix. You made it. You just have to catch up to Rhiannon and Arneo's 35 stream watch streak. It'll only take a couple of months. All right, so I'm not sure what to do. Not sure what to do here. I'm having a harder time doing this part in quote unquote in place. We definitely need something like this. I guess I'll make a new script. Yeah, we don't need this pan viewer up or down thing. We don't need this modulate levels thing. We really just need to recreate the unpack tile map data function in a new script. That's really all we need to do. So let's go to this. Let's attach a script here to the block space. I'm literally putting all the new stuff here in one folder because we need to do a huge project cleanup. I might do that this weekend. If we can get it working under the new system. Might do a big cleanup. Maybe not this weekend. Part of the reason I'm doing this in parallel is so I can see the old implementation, because like the auto tiling rules, I tried to get started on that and I was like, I need to see this. I need to see this in action before I can do that. Inherits node 2D. Yes. Okay. Okay, so all I really want to do is come over here, grab this function. We'll have a ready func. Literally never remember how to write GDScript. All right, now we need to recreate some of these internal variables. Hey, Nanigans. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. How is everyone doing tonight? You're all right, actually, Magoo? Good, good, good. I've been tired. I did something. I have that pain in the neck on one side that like very much limits my mobility. I'm having a lot of sedentary lifestyle injuries. I really need to fix that next year. I need to start doing Pilates or something. All right, so what do we need? We need level layers. So I call these levels previously. I'm starting to call them tiers because I started to get annoyed at the distinction between layer and level. But I don't know, we might go back to that term. Nanigans, not too bad. You're done for work for the day. Again, unless something else comes through. That's the life. Just waiting. Hope I start to feel better. You know, it's always something. So I had like a pain in the back of my leg, which was also a sedentary lifestyle kind of injury, and that started to go away, and then this neck thing comes up. I'm just getting old. Getting old and infirm. Jacob, no way. You did that to your neck just the other day also. I know. It's these lifestyles. It's our hard living, Jacob. We're just living so hard. We're just seizing life every day and living it to the max. And just the punishment is we just can't turn our head in one direction. And stretch. Yeah, get those stretch redeems, right? Arnio, it's night for you. You've been very tired. You've been feeling sick. I think it's just the seasonal affective disorder thing hitting. Excited to travel to see the family on Sunday. Nice. Yeah, enjoy that holiday stuff. It's good stuff. Your stuff looks terrible. It does not, Nix. Your stuff looks great. Magoo, you're DMing me the best soundboard ever. I'm bad at that. I have a stream deck that I could use to be doing all sorts of fun, like radio host soundboard stuff. I don't do it ever. Jacob, we are programming. It's such a physically demanding job. I know. It's crazy. All right, level layers I. Pack tile map data byte. Layer blah 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 blah. Layer index, layer sizes, layer begins. For ion range, layer count, layer ends, level layers I. Block shape, tier 0. How do I... I have to look how this is structured here. All levels, all level. There's nothing here. Tile levels. Level layers. Child and get children. Level nodes. Dot append. Child is node 2D. For grandchildren in child.getChildren. Level layers. Dot append. Grandchild as tile map layer. Oh, so do I put all the layers in one big ass array? Is that how we do this? Oh, and then you send all the layers over simultaneously. Ah, I see. I see how this works, I think. So level layers I is... So, okay. We remove the tiered structure and we just... 3 layers, 3 layers, 3 layers, 3 layers. Okay. I see how this is working now. I love the little bit of archaeology that's always just like, how is this code written and how does it work? I'm going to call this block layers. And it's going to be an array of tile map layer. Rhiannon, you've been having nagging lower back pain? Ooh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that bothers me all the time. Arnio, when is the drinking stream? Yeah, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Unless by drinking you mean enjoying a cup of tea from my brand new Picard tea set, which I was bragging about earlier, which I'll show again because it's so good. This arrived for me, an early Christmas present. My Picard teacup set by Bodum. Nix, you're only saying it looks good because you didn't share the latest monstrosity yet. We'll stuff it back into the cooking pot for another couple fruit streams until it fixes it. All right. No worries. Don't share stuff until you're comfortable with it. Sapphire, you've been waiting for your stuff to fix itself for a while now. It hasn't worked yet. I know. All right, we got to get Dave to the Balmer Peak. All right, what's the Balmer Peak? It's an XKCD comic. The Balmer Peak. Ah, I see. called the Balmer Peak. It was discovered by Microsoft in the late 80s. The cause is unknown, but somehow a BAC between 0.129% and 0.138% confers superhuman programming ability. However, it's a delicate effect, requiring careful calibration. You can't just give a team of coders a year's supply of whiskey and tell them to get cracking. Has that ever happened? Remember Windows ME? Yeah. The Balmer Peak. That's great. Apple uses automated schnapps IVs. That's funny. This is a real thing for sure. This is definitely a real thing, especially in ideation. I don't know if you've ever ideated with people. You've worked with a creative team and everyone's kind of like, especially in an environment where people are, you know, drinking or whatever. When you get creative people together, there is this period of incredible, unparalleled creative output up until you just put on like, up until everyone just kind of loses the thread. It's so funny. You said a no-no word. Mr. Magoo, what are you clipping of me? Let me go look at this clip. All right, thanks, Mr. Magoo. Thanks for the clip. Thanks for the engagement. But yeah, we might have a tea drinking party where hydrate means drink tea, because that's usually what I do. I'm still like nursing this coffee, even though it's totally lukewarm, just because I want the stuff. Here, let me get my Batman water cup. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Nanigans, you're the same way. You don't get out. You don't do nearly as much since working from home. You feel a lot more now. The aging, yeah. You're also definitely much more productive with a small alcoholic bug, and even tend to make less buzz, and even tend to make less bugs. Yeah, there is a Balmer Peak. That is a real thing. I don't think it's specific to programming. There's just a perfect level where your confidence overpowers. Like there's a level of confidence that you can achieve artificially that I think just puts you into a mode. All right, variable block layers is an array of tile map layer. We just do that. That's literally all we change. Oh, well, we need to do this. We need to say for variable child in get children. We need to say for variable grandchild in child.get children. I don't need to say variable. We say block layers dot append grandchild. Do I need to say as? Do I need to specify what I'm appending it as? Append grandchild as tile map layer, right? Okay. All right, I think that's literally all we need right here to get this working. Maku, your kettle is breaking. Oh no, your water kettle. Hydrate needs to be renamed to tea, Earl Grey hot. That's not bad. That's not a bad idea, actually. I want to tie some sound effects to more channel point redeems like that. You still can't believe you lost your almost 30 stream watch streak. I know, I'm sorry. You were sleeping or something. You're doing something important. Totally understandable. Nix, you wonder, would Twitch count you being here, thus giving you the watch streak if you just left Twitch open on it forever? I think so. That's the Magoo technique, apparently. Just leave the channel page open. Sapphire with a hydrate, thanks. All I have is water. But I might honestly go make a cup of tea, just so that we can let it ride here. I don't know if I could do it with the Picard teacup, though. Maybe I could. Maybe I'll go get it. Redeem stretch. Oh, God, you're killing me. Making me stretch over here. Nanigans, the trade-off is if you do make bugs, you struggle to fix them. You can't do refactoring. No, yeah. That's a purely creative... The Balmer Peak is purely a creative mode. Which is why I think it's good to do in social situations, like during brainstorming and stuff. Like, it's really good when you aren't constrained by things. I gotta stretch out my neck a little bit. Nix, you were sleeping. The one time you decide to let your guard down. Never again. Sleep was for the weak. Yeah. Rannon, you love the Batman glass. Have you seen the study where people are more considerate and give up their seat on the subway if someone dressed as Batman is on the train? I saw the headline. I saw that headline and I was like, I don't feel like I need to investigate this anymore. I just accept that as true. But yeah, it was like Batman and like a pregnant woman that they'd put on subway trains, and people were more likely to get up for the pregnant woman if Batman was on the subway train with them. Which is good. There's a fairly logical and innocent reading of that, which is that people are just more situationally aware when something unusual happens. We would need to do more study to determine whether it was actually Batman or it was just the disruption of their routine that made them more situationally aware. Like, we need to do another version of this study where it's like Picard, like, staring you down. see if you're able to find your moral center. Or something like that. Maybe someone dressed up as Jesus or something, I don't know. Find someone else who impacts people and makes them self-conscious. Yeah, the Batman glass is fun. I do enjoy it. It's just a glass with a Batman icon on it, but for some reason it just feels so much better. All right, I think I did this correctly. I'm still not totally sure about how this is going to interact with the board script. I guess I need to set up these additional export variables for now. We might make some tea. I'm feeling something. I'm feeling a need for tea and tea snacks. All right, do we care? So we have a block layers. For level and editor block textures get children. Is this okay? Can we leave it like this one? Or we should probably swap it over to this one. I might go back to calling these levels. I like calling them tiers, but... I don't know. I don't like the term level. It's too much of a loaded term. I was calling it slices at one point, which I think is reasonable, but... I don't know. I ended up calling them block tiers in the new version. Again, the greatest struggle for me is a convincing naming convention. All right. I'm a little concerned about a bunch of these other things. Like this, the view level up or down thing. I'm concerned about that. Set board boundaries. I'm going to have to untangle a bunch of this stuff. A bunch of this stuff is messed up and is not going to work. You can only do this stuff in parallel for so long until you need to just start actually substituting things. Set board boundaries. Add this to the node list. Duh. Editor blocks. Is this private variable? Not. Oh. Thanks, autocomplete. Perfect tea time. Do you have ads coming up? Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, we do have ads coming up. Oh yeah, the main system isn't configured either to run like this, I don't think. All right, we got to start swapping stuff over if we actually want to test this soon. This is going to be a lot of just encountering errors and then trying to fix it. So where do we actually handle the block? This one. Tiles, target node. Actually, I guess this is fine because we specify the target node, huh? All right. All right, let's look at main system, because main system is, yeah. View system, I don't know if view system actually needs to do anything right now. What we really need to do is run the editor, block editor system group. Game.block editor system group.ready. And then all we really need to do is this part here. I don't know if the main system is a system or if it's a system group. Or if it should be just something else entirely. We're going to say if game.peakState is game.state.edit. Let's say game.blockEditorSystemGroup.run. And that's our main task. Hey, VoidBlit. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. How are you been? Oh, yeah. These need to be structured correctly. They currently are not. We need to structure these like... Don't need any of this. What we need here is... We need a tags buffer. Block tags, buffer 3D. Block tags. Tags buffer, rooms buffer. We don't need a valid buffer. Anything, if anything, that's going to be in the block tags. We need the rooms, block rooms. We do need that. The cutaway rooms buffer. We do eventually need this. I want to rename this. When don't I want to rename it, though? I don't know what to call it. We don't need this. Start with this. I rewrote the task factory. Syncing is happening here, which is fine. Use double buffering. We do use double buffering. That's exactly what this is. Preview blocks versus settled blocks. So double buffer so that the hot path, so that the hot loop can look good and be very responsive while the cold path does its stuff. It takes a lot longer to run the cold path. Sapphire, you think you're gonna head out? Babylon 5 is calling your name. No worries. That's a great reason. Enjoy. Enjoy the last of the Babylon stations. Two more days and then 18 days of vacation. Hell yeah, Void Blit. That sounds great. Yeah, we're definitely taking most of next week off. It's gonna be good. I'm trying to get this in a good place before then. Hopefully we can finish this refactor this week. I would love it that. I think it's time to start just running things and then getting errors. I don't know what else to do here. I don't know what else to do here to prepare. You've been playing the altars. It tickles your brain the right way. Nice, nice. Yeah, that looked fun. That looked fun. I kind of enjoyed that. I guess I should make sure the export variables are all hooked up correctly because they probably aren't. Rebuild. Default tile format is wrong. It's this. Block palette is very broken. That's gonna be awkward. Actually, you know what? Let's hard code the block palette for a second in the quote unquote block sculpting system. I've renamed all the systems to be more descriptive, but it's a little weird. Yeah, so active block tag, we're just gonna make it be block.tags.hull because that's all it needs to be for now. Okay, so those export variables are good. These export variables, I don't know why both of you need to have these as export variables. I don't like using export variables, but you know, sometimes it's just the easiest way to do it. You two could use a double buffet right now. Double buffet. Double buffer. Yeah, the altar sounds cool. I might check that out. I've been playing a lot of Arc Raiders. I've enjoyed it a lot. My crew, we're very friendly, so we're in all the friendly lobbies. So we're not like when you watch another streamer play. We're not like very aggressive. We're very friendly people. It's fun. It's fun the game is split in such a way that you can be friendly. You don't have to be like super aggro. All right, we're going to run it and we're going to see the error. Okay, no errors, no activity. You know, that's not the worst. Not the worst. All right, no errors, but no behavior. Let's double check the positioning of everything, I guess. All right, we're going into ads. I may well take this opportunity to make some tea. I'm not sure. Not totally sure yet. Looks like these resources are all set. Woodblit. It's like a little bit of management with a bit of survival, exploration, and story. It's a very combination for you. It sounds really fun. I've read a little bit about it. I was playing a game about time loops that reminded me of it a little bit. I forgot what it was called. Death Loop? I played that a while. Shenanigans. You prefer export variables over needing a specific structured node tree as it feels a lot less brittle. It feels a lot better to just assign stuff in code where you're defining anyways. Yeah, that's my preferred. I don't like having rigid structure either. I would either prefer a unique name or an export variable. All right, we got ads. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to try to get some tea going. I'm going to maybe try to clean one of those Picard teacups. We'll see. I'll be right back in a few minutes. Deathloop, the last Arcane game before the studio disintegrated. That is so sad when you put it that way. I liked it. I haven't finished it, but I liked it. Be right back. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Appreciate y'all. All right, I'm back. I opened up the little box. These are the little teacups. They're small. They're very small. They're like maybe what, like 4 ounces? They're very cute. But I don't think I'm going to use one of these because I want more tea than this. I think this is for like parties. If I'm making coffee for like 4 people, serve them up in these little guys. They don't photograph very well. Let's see if I can find a picture of him drinking his little cup of tea. Yeah. It's great. Good stuff. Don't worry about it. Very cute. Yeah, they are very cute. They're very small. I enjoy it. Still making tea. Arneo, tea is just hot leaf juice. Rude. You're on a lemon Pepsi streak right now. All right. Take it easy, Mr. Magoo. Arneo, if tea is just hot leaf juice, what is Pepsi? Like cold petroleum, cold carbonated petroleum? I don't know. I don't know what goes into Pepsi, but I know you can dissolve a nail in it in about 24 hours. It looks like espresso size to you. You could probably put like a macchiato or a cappuccino in here. It's probably like 4 to 6 ounces. It's cute. It's cute though. But yeah, I don't see myself using this for me very often. Kind of a cutesy thing though. Fun. It's fun. We're having fun. All right. Let's get back to work. All right, so we ran the thing and we had no errors, but we also had no behavior. So kind of a mixed bag, I would call that. Seems to be glass though, which is nice. I swear it would be plastic. The handles are plastic though. But you know, what are you gonna do? You're jealous you can't get into tea. You're just not sophisticated enough. I'm not a particularly sophisticated tea drinker either. I always have my tea with like honey and like a little milk. You know what's awesome though? Have you guys ever made hot chocolate by melting chocolate and heating it up with milk? That is good. Like you take like, you're talking about like a chocolate bar that you like melted down in like a little pot and you like add milk to it. That is good stuff. That is good stuff. You have to get the right chocolate bar. You're just a girl who likes her flavored corn syrup. Yeah. Yeah, we're not big on... I'm big on sweets. Like, I love my little cookies and teas and things. But for sodas, we just drink LaCroix. Like, to me, the nice thing about that is just the carbonated beverage part with, like, a little flavor. I'm not out here trying to drink, like, 50 grams of sugar just to have, like, a cold beverage. I get my sugar plenty of other ways. Like, I can't drink sweetened coffee either. Like, my coffee is unsweetened, as it should be. And if I want sugar, I get, like, a pastry, you know? I get a pastry. I really want to go get, like, a muffin, like a lemon poppy seed muffin or something from around the corner. I'm gonna be strong, though. I had one of those, like, yesterday. Or Monday, maybe. All right, where do I think this lack of behavior is coming from? Where would I suspect? Target node is fine. The packed data is... You know what? Some systems are probably not getting run. Let's look at the system chain. So like this system is running. Okay, so this says game.tilesystem.run. Obviously that's wrong. Game.tile drawing system, which isn't in the list. Great. I don't want to give that a longer name. All right, so that would help if we did that. That would help for sure. Block flood filling it needs to run. This is going to be disruptive. Is this system group is running? We know that. We know that much. So the system group runs. We run the sculpting system. We run the tile drawing system. We run the flood filling system. You know, it was possibly the reason we weren't getting any behavior was the tile drawing system not running. That's probably it. Yep, there we go. Let's get it. Return component, get component. Given key, tile set atlas index buffer X was not present in the dictionary. Interesting. All right, well, at least we have an error now. Yeah, the darker the coat chocolate, the better. Yeah. Add chili powder and use a mixer to foam it up. Ooh, nice. You like the spice chocolate. Yeah, the sweet drink is tough. It can be too sweet, for sure. You never had corn syrup before, Nix? All the cool food is in America, like corn dogs. We do love our corn. We're a very corny society. All right, so what do I think the problem is? It had to do with that particular component in the tile drawing system. Tile drawing system, this stuff. Oh, no one's calling ready on this. That's why. Whose responsibility should that be? It should probably be y'all's over here. Actually, for that one, it should probably be the main system. We're going to say game.tiledrawing_system.ready. All right, now let's see where the error is. Oh. Some behavior. Some very incorrect behavior. The Z face is behaving weirdly. All right. Something's happening. We're doing something. Ship it. Yeah, ship those errors. Deep fried butter is a staple of the American diet, as far as you know. Not here, but I'm a coastal elite, so what do I know? Deep fried Twinkies. That sounds better. Deep fried anything. Look, as far as I'm aware, the Scottish are more famous for deep frying stuff than us. Yeah, we gotta subsidize our corn farmers. That's American. Rhiannon, one of your wife and yours first dates, you got deep fried Oreos to try them. They were not good. That sounds bad. Yeah, we don't just have, like, people don't just walk around with Scotch eggs here. All right, I'll be right back. I gotta... If I'm serious about making this tea, I gotta go do it. I don't know if I am, though. I'm heating the water, so I should come to terms with it. I feel more of a need for, like, food. But tea would be nice, wouldn't it? God. Okay. So we're drawing something. The Z face of the tile is broken. So let's see why. Blackface Z tile. Tile set is empty. Why? Blackface X, blackface. Oh, none of these were set up. Hull type face X. Yeah, that's right. For you. Are these set here for some reason? Yeah, they are. That's weird. Let's set those here. Okay, what's going on here would be my question. That looks right. Let's try that again. There's the other question is, should the block get drawn under the mouse or over the mouse? I'm thinking when you're building, it should get drawn over the mouse, right? But that's part of the reason I want to switch to this like fake raycast system so that I can actually tell what face the player is pointing at. That might be a feature for another day though. That's a genuinely new feature for us. And this is refactor time. All right, I don't know what's happening with the third face here. Let's test it out. Okay, so it's actually not there. Okay, that's the Y face. So there's actually maybe something broken with the X face. Interesting. Somewhere something's hooked up wrong. Yeah, okay, so the Z face is not being drawn at all. Or it's actually, you know what's probably happening is it's probably being hidden somehow. Something to do with offsets. Let me see. Let's see about this. So if I drew this here and this here and this here. No, that should work. Should work. The cookie part had gotten soggy and oily. Yeah, that sounds not good. For Thanksgiving, someone made like a cheesecake kind of deal. They were trying to make like a gluten-free cheesecake, and they ended up doing it with like Oreo crumbs and like Oreo filling, and it was like kind of good. Shenanigans, either keep the mouse on top of everything or replace the cursor with the block. Don't put the cursor under it. That's a good point. That's a good point, Nanigans. Although I feel like the distinction between don't put the cursor under it is like a hollow distinction. Because if I'm just rendering the block over the cursor, that's effectively the same thing. I feel like someday we are going to have a face painting feature where like you can actually paint over the faces of a block to like be more precise about, I want this particular thing right here. Rather than doing it at block level, it feels like eventually we'll do it at the face level. So I feel like eventually we'll want that kind of level of detail, but you are right. You are right. I think you're right. All right, so I need to figure out why the X face is being drawn twice at 2 different coordinates. That's a weird bug. But what I should do real quick is I should go turn off the water kettle. keep drinking water here. Yeah, I'll put this cup back and turn the kettle off here. We are back, chair stream. Give it up for chair. Shenanigans. If you put the cursor under and you end up getting scenarios where the cursor pokes out from the edges of the block, like you're hovering over the very corner of a block, it would look broken. That's true. That's true. That's a good point. No, replacing the cursor with the block or hiding the cursor or something is a good call. That's a good call. We'll probably get there eventually. All right, so what's going on with the X block? Is it a tile drawing problem? Or is it a block sculpting problem? It's probably not a block sculpting problem. It's probably a tile drawing problem. You do like doing things like replacing the cursor with the block itself when it makes sense. You find it just feels better, feels and looks better. Yeah, I'm feeling that. I think that could be cool. Yeah, I'm feeling the need for like lunch more than I am tea. All I had was coffee and toast this morning, which is often what I have. But my body is like, could we get a sandwich or something? It's like, could we get some protein or some vegetables or literally anything else? And I'm like, not today, body. Or at least not until the stream is over. All right, where do I think? So let's look at get block face X Z tile. Well, I guess it's the face X tile that's probably happening. So here's an interesting conundrum. We should only ever be getting an Atlas chords of 0 because I've literally commented out the auto tiling rules. So it's interesting that we're getting this extra X face getting drawn that also happens to have outlines. Like, let's look at it again. We should be seeing 3 outlineless faces. The fact that this starts here is interesting too, which I guess makes sense actually. Okay, scrolling up and down doesn't do anything, which is probably correct. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. It looks like it's the new tile, but yeah, it's weird that there's an extra X face being drawn with a weird set of outlines. And no Z face. Let's try to get the Z-face drawing, I guess. Rebuilding this from the ground up is a little tricky. There's a lot of assumptions being made that could be causing us problems. Set atlas index buffer Z, tile set atlas index buffer Y, tile set atlas index buffer X. I really hope I didn't get the format wrong. That would be really unfortunate because I rewrote the tile format by hand already. It'd be really unfortunate if that was just happened to be wrong. Really unfortunate. So something on the X path is being weird. Start 0, 0. Anything change with the pack data? It shouldn't have. Tile.level. Tile.level. Integer levels, layers. I did just copy this part over without really thinking about it. Get tile, output pack tile map data, block tier count 64. That's the number of levels. Tile layer count 3. Number of layers. I guess I should double check this file. It's not going to be in here, is it? Gotta grab it in here. It's possible. The chords should all be right. Tiles across 8, tiles down 6. Tiles across 8, tiles down 6, tiles across 4, tiles down 4. 3 3 2 3 1 3 0 3 3 2 2 2 1 2 0 2 0 0. That's correct. What I should do is get rid of this part. That shouldn't make a difference, but atlas buffer, format comp, x plus y times 4. I guess I should look at the old system and see if there's any discrepancies. This is the part of the debugging the new process that I'm not going to enjoy. Trying to find the transcription errors when I moved all this stuff over to this new process. These little mistakes I likely made. That looks totally the same. I guess I should double check that the resource was made correctly. So go in here. Double check to make sure that this is 0, 0. It is. There is no offsets here. Or the ID is wrong. No. Okay. What about this one? Actually, this one, I'm worried that there's a mistake here. So where's this weird... The weird one that we're erroneously drawing is this one. Coordinate 3-3. Oh, coordinate 3-3. Interesting. There maybe is a mapping problem. Maybe there's a reference somewhere that's wrong. Block face Z. Whole typeface Z. Okay. Block tier. Whole typeface. Let's close this. I don't know why it's blue. Why does it... Oh, okay, that's just because I'm looking at it. Okay, what about you? So the 0, 0 to 3 thing, 3, 3 thing is a little concerning. Weird that it's writing it to that surface. What I think it's doing is it's trying to draw a 3-3 face tile for the Z, but for some reason it's drawing the 3-3 face tile in the X face instead. Which is weird because it means it's referring to the wrong tile map layer. Somewhere. For child and get children. For grandchild in child get children. Block layers dot append grandchild as tile map layer. Yeah. Layer count. Layer sizes. Layer count. Block layers dot tile map data equals pack tile map data dot slice. Layer begins, layer ends. This all looks fine. Nothing about this changed. Yeah, this is a weird one. Time to get really just in the weeds here. I don't think it's a block sculpting issue. I think this is really very much a tile drawing problem. Just not sure where the problem is. Bytes per tile is still 12. Bytes per layer is still 2. Tile map data buffer. Pack tile data. Who owns this? Oh no, this is locally owned. Okay. None of this seems terribly wrong, but what's interesting is that we're drawing this tile to the wrong tile map layer. Like very, very, very clearly that's what's happening. Which means there's definitely a problem here. How are we separating these out? Casting. So they were specifying the layer by the block faces. Block face X, Y, Z, 0, 1, 2, X, Y, Z, 0, 1, 2. Oh. This is not exactly what I expected. This structure I don't think works. I think the structure is writing us to the wrong layer. Let's see what the equivalent is in the old system. The old system equivalent was tile.layers. Let's see how that one worked. If I can find that in here somewhere. Tile.layers. Deck plate X equal to 1. So these aren't, this isn't a flag system. Makes sense. So I think I want to take away the flags thing. But this is right, the 1, 2, 3. Oh, but it's a flag, so it's not 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm... Is the W of this actually used for indexing? Because that's definitely what the problem is, if it is. Integer hulls. Reserve source count ID count int plus hulls hull key, well, duh, dot W dot. Oh, no. Okay, so we're specifying the layer here with the inner, middle, outer. That's fine. But we're specifying the layer here with the W. Yeah. Tile equals block.faces hull key.w switch. Yeah, so these can't actually be different things. It can be X, Y, Z. And then when we go in here, we look at the hull key.xyz, key, hull key, return new tile, hull key. So when we build a tile, we get an int level, we get a 2D position, int level, int layer. Yeah, okay, I understand. I understand where the problem is here. So go to the block faces. This is not a flag. And this it should just be 0, 1, 2. And in fact, this shouldn't be a thing. I could just use the vector. I could use the vector act.axis. I don't need a separate thing for this. If I'm going to do it like this. Yeah, I think I might actually delete the block.faces thing. Because we have axes. And axes dot... Although these are flags, huh? I guess that doesn't work for that either. I guess we do need the block faces enum. Or something. Nix, how's the game coming along? It's cool. It's cool. We're coming along with the refactor. We're splitting the block down into a basic indivisible component instead of being this compound object. And it's interesting. It's gonna open up a lot for us, but it's also kind of hard to set up. Okay, so this doesn't work anymore. Whole-key.w. Oh, whole-key.w -1. Okay, so I already planned for this somewhere. Where is this? Set tile map layer data. Counts is this plus whole-key. Tile layer count is 3 plus whole-key dot w -1. Okay. So I can either do the 0, 1, 2 thing. So I can make this 1, 2, 3. What I can't do is make it 1, 2, 4. Because if it's 1, 2, 4, it's not going to index correctly. But I can do this as 1, 2, 3. Which I prefer doing. I don't like having the first value of an enum to be 0. I like to know when a structure has not been initialized correctly. I don't like it just silently initializing with the default value like that. Also, don't forget about that T. Yeah, I think I might put a hold on the T. I'm having that kind of light, I need lunch kind of nausea. Looks cool. What was the driving reason for wanting to split the block into 4 like that? Well, there's a very strict implicit structure in this, Nanigans. So if we do it like this, where each block is this compound space where there's like a deck plate and then like an empty space above it that might be filled with like a wall or a door, or it might just be an affordance for a player to move through it, then you have a very rigid structure of floor, empty space, floor, empty space. And we were running into a lot of issues with the cutaway system, with the compartmentalization system, because each deck included a floor, but not a ceiling, because your ceiling was just the floor of the above deck. And there was a lot of stuff that we were running into with this very explicit structure that was hard to deal with. And so if we have this new structure where these characteristics of, is there a space for you to walk around or whatever, that's more of an implicit thing. It's more of an emergent property of the arrangement of the blocks. It's a lot easier to work around. I know what a block is, and we can just evaluate the space around the block to determine stuff of like, is there a walkable space in this compartment? No. Is there a crawlable space or a crouchable space? So we still kind of implicitly have this a walkable deck space is a block and then 3 empty spaces above it, but we can still process if there's 2 empty spaces above it, a player could maybe crouch and walk through that, or if there's 1 space above it, maybe you can crawl. But it makes the compartmentalization and the cutaway system a lot easier to manage because it's operating, I don't know, it's hard to explain. You're debating sort of doing the opposite. On your 3D grid, your tiles are currently half as tall as they are depth, width. You want to keep the actual underlying data that way, but it might change the default tile placement and have variations of the actual tiles to be the same in width and height. Yeah, the way I'm solving that is, so a wall, like if we take the palette and we pick a wall, that's just forced block stacked, like a default quote-unquote wall, right? So there's a lot. So a thing is really just an arrangement of blocks, but we're making the individual block itself be this very indivisible, very simple object. And so if you have doors, you could have like a stack of 1x3 or a stack of 2x3, and the system will look at that and it'll evaluate the space around and it'll be like, I think there's a door here. So there's definitely a lot more computation that's going to be involved in processing and understanding the space, because there's less concepts baked into what is a single block. But I think it should help. Bad Cop, you should host a level editor jam. Yeah, we're just level editors all the way down here. Yeah, what I need is a level editor for making level editors, you know? That's what I really need. How's it going, Bad Cop? Happy December. Yeah, the level editor. That's what I need. I need an editor. I need a tool that helps me building my editors. That's definitely something I need. How's it going, Bad Cop? Are you going to be at the Godot meetup on Saturday? I don't know how many people are going to be there. It's like, you know. Wait, but Godot is an editor. True. I didn't think about that. So I'll use Godot as my editor then. You know? All right. Because, you know, it's just editors all the way down. Saturday, you don't know anything special going on? It's the Godot meetup. No, I don't know. I'd be surprised if it's... I wouldn't be surprised if it's just me and Zach, honestly. Because it's like December. It's like the weekend before Christmas, but I'm going to be there. I don't even know if Zach's going to be there, but I assume Zach's going to be there. Who knows? We should definitely do more stuff in person. Those quarterly playtest and pints thing at the Detour has been really fun. You should come to that sometime. You'll go maybe? All right, I'll put you down as a maybe. Remind you, or you'll definitely forget. I'll try. Nanigans? Yeah, it sounds like we're doing similar things here for different reasons. You're an editor who builds level editors, but you hired an editor to proof all your work. It's editors all the way down, you know? All right, so I just changed this structure. Is this actually going to do stuff? Arneo, you agree? Let's do more IRL stuff. When are we going to be in Finland? I don't know. Finland's cool. Oh, we fixed it. We fixed it. We're drawing one outlineless block. And then we crashed. All right. What's happening here? The given form block forms buffer 3D. No, why are we calling a block forms buffer 3D? Who's calling that? Who's call? Oh. My bad. I didn't rewrite this piece of code. I didn't rewrite this function. Block tags. Block tags. All right, we're doing something. You know what they say, the first block is always the hardest. You're generally unaware of what day of the week it is. I had to double check. I was like, hey, everybody, happy Wednesday. And I like opened up the like bottom right corner of the, I was like, yeah, it's Wednesday. Finland sounds fun, Arneo. Some of the most interesting people I've met are from Finland. I think people develop a lot of hobbies there. That's my experience with people I've met from Finland. I think it would be cool. And not just literally. I don't know if I'm big on saunas, though. I don't know if I want to just hang out in Asana. All right, let's see if we can commit an object to the block thing here. This is crazy if this works. Then all I have to do is basically rebuild the auto tiler. Nope, crash. Preview forms span, copy to, settled forms span, block tags. Preview forms, copy to. Destination is too short. Y'all should be getting initialized with the same size. Oh, block.space versus game.board. Duh. I set myself a really stupid limitation for this refactor. I was like, we're going to do it all in parallel to the existing implementation. So the existing implementation continues to work. And that was such a dumb requirement. I mean, it's kind of nice because it's going to help when we rewrite the auto tiling rules, but I could have just saved the auto tiling rules separately. Okay, here we go. Next, the only reason you know it's Wednesday is because your last physical therapy was moved to tomorrow. Okay. Ooh, an icy lake dive in sauna. Yeah. I'll go into like cardiac arrest from like the shock of the cold. And then I'll like die of heat exhaustion in the sauna. That sounds nice. Bad cop, the only reason you know it's Wednesday is because Nick said it's Wednesday. Yeah. All right. Can I build this? Crash. All right. The given key block tags buffer was not present in the dictionary. All right. All right. Got component. Block flood filling system. Okay, so the flood filling system is having a problem now because it's running, and I'm sure I've not finished this either. So block tags game dot block editor system group. Block editor system group. Guess I should technically do this in the opposite order. The bug is that it's C#, you're pretty sure? That's definitely holding me back a little bit, you know? But I wouldn't know what to do if it was anything else. Oh, here's this as well. Room bounds buffer comp. I don't have a room bounds buffer right now. So let's just not do this part. All right. But GD script? Yeah, true. All right, another crash. All right, who's buying? Who's buying this failure? Okay, we got another sync settled buffer changes here. Oh, I don't have these buffers either. Okay. This is what happens when you just copy over code. I like GD script. I forget how to use it every single time, and then I remember how to use it during each game jam. Nothing against GD script. I guess you can take the dev out of the Unity, but you can't take the Unity out of the dev. Is, I guess, the tragic truth of it. All right. Is the game going to let us commit this block change? Yes. All right, so this is drawing. Is the select working? Select is working. Input hover is working. Block placement is working. The block palette doesn't work, so I can't. If I click this, it will crash. Yeah, I knew that. That's easy to fix, though. So we need to redefine the block palette a little bit. And we also need to work on the auto tiling, because if you noticed, the blocks were being drawn without any outlines. Here's another question. What happens when I try to draw multiple Z levels? Nothing. Because there is no view system to respond to the scroll wheel. Because the view system isn't running. Right. All right, this is nice, though. This is definitely nice that this works. It's a little less nice, the gap between diagonals with this new model. That's a little less nice, but... Because in addition to decomposing the block down into one piece, we also removed the overlapping outlines. Which is nice, but it changes the shape a little bit of the blocks. What am I gonna have for lunch, chat? All right, well, this is exciting. We're getting things drawing again. I definitely need to fix the palette. Let's try to do that. This palette object needs to change, so these aren't going to be just tagged anymore. Now they like describe... Well, I guess this one is just called a door. But these are actually going to become like block bounds, I guess. So like when you click this, it's just a shorthand for saying, I want to draw a block that's 1 by 3. That's like, or 1 by 1 by 3, whatever. It's just like, it's 3 blocks tall, but that's the only thing about it that's different. So this one, we need to fix this one. This one just needs to say hall. And then this one will at least work. And then what we need to do is we need to enable the ability to move the camera, not to move the camera, but move our selection up and down, which means running the view system. We're making a copy of the view system or something. Surprisingly less bugs than I thought there were going to be, though, which is neat. Where's the view system? Hey, Hex, how's it going? Happy Wednesday. You're going to have to mute the stream to concentrate. It's those bloody canvas layers again. Good luck. I hate canvas layers as well. I like them. I just hate thinking about them. Shenanigans, a subtle bonus, but the fact the tiles are smaller means you have a high fidelity of highlight changes. Makes it seem snappier and smoother. We will see. There's definitely more blocks per space now in the maximum sense of things. Because the total, I kept the total space the same. Excuse me. So before, our block space was 64 by 64 by 8. Now it's 64 by 64 by 64. But the blocks are a quarter of the size, a quarter of the height that they used to be. So there is 4 times as many of them that takes up about the same amount of space. However, the number of tile map layers has gone down. So instead of 10 layers, we only have 3 layers. So there's less tile map layers, but there's more blocks. So I don't know. I think overall it's going to end up being a wash. But yeah, hopefully it should be fairly responsive on stream. We have that hot loop versus cold loop kind of deal, which keeps it very snappy because it continues to update the renderer very often. I'm not going to say every frame, but very often. I think right now it's every frame, but eventually it's just going to be very often. I don't know. I've learned that adding latency to visual feedback is like very bad, even if it's just a few frames. So I try to avoid it whenever possible. All right, so how does this system supposed to work now? So this system needs to... It's this level change. Excuse me, again. This level change thing. So right now we scroll wheel through different layers. So I actually don't think that's a view command anymore. This command to change levels. I might just rename it to like scroll or something. Or I don't know. This is where I'm not quite sure how I want to rewrite this so that you can scroll through into lower layers of blocks. I don't want to actually make that have a visual component to it. Like before, when you would scroll down a layer, the whole camera would move down so that you'd end up in the same spot. I don't actually want to do that anymore. So maybe that's not part of the view system. Maybe that's just part of the block sculpting system or something. Because we're just zooming through and changing. All right, so what happens when we trigger this level up or down function? Pick a direction, we call the game board, view level up or down. Yeah, so we're not doing this anymore. We're doing it differently. Well, technically we're not doing it at all. But, yeah. How's it going, Hex? I think I asked you that already. You're just lurking or you just stopped by, don't worry. You're just always working on interesting stuff. Or maybe you were stuck in ads, because I feel like ads either just happened. Yeah, ads just happened. So we're back. You got ad jump scared? That's funny. And then the ads end, and I'm like, what's up, Hex? It's a pretty busy December this time around for you. For sure. For sure. Nanigans. Anything over 30 milliseconds delay as a response to user input feels slow, quote unquote. Anything that isn't a direction response to user input is a lot more forgiving. Yeah. Or a direct, and it isn't a direct response. Yeah. Yeah, so I try to provide lots of feedback in the preview layer and then have a different layer that's operating on a slower loop that's doing more subtle things like flood filling, like redoing the flood fill and stuff. So yeah, so visually, I try to update the visuals every frame or close to every frame. Right now it's every frame, but I could see a world in which I put it in a task and it maybe takes like 2 or 3 frames. But right now it's every frame because yeah, I think that's important. Hex, you were supposed to be Godoting. It's like a second evening this month. You're sitting down with it. Oh. Yeah. No, it's a tough time. The solo development channel is like, we're doing our next game jam on January 2nd. And I'm like, January 2nd? Oh my God. I don't know if I'm going to be ready. Actually, I know I'm not going to be ready. So yeah, I don't think I have time to do any like winter game jams or anything fun. We're just trying to do a refactor. So I was investigating this script call, right? So it was this. Here we call into view level up or down. All we're really doing is panning the viewer and setting a level index. Do we use this level index when we're like, yes, we do. Okay, so I do still need to tell them what level we're on because this is used for... Okay. This is used for input management, it looks like. Maybe not, though. Maybe it's not. Let's go look at the input manager. Oh, no, this is the input manager. Cool. All right. Okay, so we do still need to tell the system about this somehow. That's fine. But we're not going to make a visual change to like we're not going to move the camera around or like shift everything up or down. Jacob, you were really considering that jam? You got to see how it's going then. Yeah, I'd have a hard time. I was hoping they would wait a couple weeks until... I was hoping it'd be like mid-January. Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. Yeah, I've had a very lethargic winter. Work has been very busy. You know, I'm not getting out much. I've been very sleepy. I overslept this morning by like 2 hours. All right. I don't know what I want to do here. I really want to work on that input model, the revised input model. So that we don't actually... Well, I guess we'd still scroll through the depth through the Z level. Even with a new way of figuring out our input. When the sun comes up so late, it's so easy to sleep in. True. Very true. Very true. You're gonna head out now? Keep working on the D&D stuff? Oh, yeah. You were saying that you got your D&D stuff working out. That's right. That's great to hear. Yeah, have fun with that. Have fun with that. We'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you before the weekend. No stream on Saturday because there's the Godot monthly meetup in the city here that I go to. But we're still going. We're still going for a bit. I do need to leave myself enough time to go get lunch, but we're still going. I'm thinking about how to handle this input change. Maybe I just do it here in the block editor system group. I feel like I need to do it before... I feel like I need to do it before we get to the sculpting system, before we actually start editing the blocks. Like, I feel like I can't run that here. But I can run it in the editor system group. Call it like zoom or something. We'll think of it as like an input zoom for the cursor. Let's do something like that. Let's add a case command.arg.zoom. Although wait, this doesn't actually run anything, huh? I'd still need to run a system to process that. Maybe we do just run the view system. I don't know. I don't know where to run that. Let's think about that. Game output.views.enqueue, step 2, view. View, next step, command level. I understand why I consider this a game view thing, because it changes the cutaway a lot. It's like, let's view one layer down. But that's actually not how the system is going to work now. The system viewing stuff is going to be very compartment-based and not very level-based, which is part of the reason why we're making this change, because all of our cutaway stuff is modeled off of, here's the hollow compartment that you're looking into. And in fact, when you're zooming through a space, I actually kind of want the system to like snap to a surface or to snap to something in that space, though I guess not during an editing context. Losing the thread a little bit about what I'm doing right now. That's fine. It's the need for lunch. My neck is like totally locked up too. It's super fun. Super nice. All right, let's just run this and think about this for a second. I need to put in an offset. So the size of this buildable area is the same. Can I erase stuff still? Kind of. I can do it like this, but when I go to actually do it, it does not. It'll do it when I'm hovering, though. Kind of weird. All right, let's try to get this working. Here's something. We can figure out the zoom stuff later. What I want to do is understand the erasure. When I'm in erase mode like this, and then if I mouse down, that it like forgets that I'm in the erase mode for some reason. Ooh, that's not good either. Oh, yeah. Okay, so even if I'm in erase mode, if I click and drag, it just makes more stuff. Okay, that's wrong. That's very wrong. Let's figure that out. Let's figure that. Erase blocks. Active block tag. Span equals buffer.span index.clear tags. Oh. Buffer.span index equals. Oh no, I did that. That's right here. Wait, why isn't that working then? So erase blocks, clear tags. Value and not tags. Okay. That's weird. Why doesn't that work? Oh, all this does is... I understand. It's actually down here in the place. Continue. Place blocks. Active tag. Bounds overlap and has any. What? Shouldn't this be doing some kind of are we in a race mode thing? What does the old system do? Does it change the active block tool for some reason? When we do an erase? No. All right, let's figure this out at least. Continue. Informs.clear. Oh, this function. Place block forms. If block eraser mode, erase block forms. Otherwise, oh, do all this nonsense. Right. We don't have this function anymore. This is my cool function that like lets us place rooms by like click dragging out. I want to add that back, but it obviously doesn't work right now. And I refactored that incorrectly. So when we say something like place blocks, which we do here. So this needs, okay, so this is buffer.span index equals tags. I see. So this should be block eraser mode. Okay, so we've set this as an assignment is what we've done. So actually, let's do it up here for now. So we're gonna say active block tag. We're gonna say block eraser mode. We'll say block.tags. We don't have a null block.tags. You just say new block tags. This is a hack, but you know, it might work. And I'm actually okay with that right now. There we go. Okay, so now we can place blocks, we can erase blocks. We can select blocks probably. Can we copy and paste blocks? So copy. Okay. Paste. Paste. Okay. So most of the functions are still fine. We're looking okay. The refactor's coming along here. I don't like this. I don't like whatever weird Y sorting issues we're having with the hover when it gets to like, when it like slightly overlaps with something. That's not how that's supposed to be working. I don't know why that's being weird. We'll figure that out though. The Y sorting is just wrong. I guess I just need to change the order. Is it coming back to life? Yeah, we made a pretty big change. Previously our blocks were these compound objects. They were like a big space. They were a thing that would consist of multiple pieces. So there'd be like a deck plate, and then there would be this upper section, which could be like a door or something. So they were this alternating compound object, and we're rebuilding it more like typical block style, where a block is just one little thing. And if you want to make a structure, you do it by building it out of multiple blocks. So we're rebuilding with that in mind. Instead of having this very rigid deck plate, empty bulk space, deck plate, empty bulk space, now it's like very fluid, and the structure of it is very emergent, which is cool. It's going to be complicated, but it's cool. This was neat, or this what helped because it was like, it was very explicit, the structure of a space. It was like, you'd have alternating deck plates and then an empty space where, you know, people could move around the deck. But a lot of the systems that we had were based around compartments, which were these things that you would figure out. You'd figure out where the sealed compartments are by evaluating the space, which I realized we could just use that for all of these systems. We didn't actually need this very explicit deck plate, empty space, deck plate, empty space structure. And actually that structure caused us a lot of problems. Because every block had a floor, but none of them had a ceiling. There were like weird... There's a lot of weird stuff to this system. And so we're rebuilding a lot of our functionality with this new indivisible block in mind. In the long run, it's going to be a lot better. It enables a lot more stuff, a lot more flexibility. But in the short run, in the short term, it broke pretty much everything we have. So, c'est la vie. Yeah, including the auto tiling rules, which we need to fix tomorrow. What was I doing just now? I was going to try to change the sorting, the Y sorting of this stuff. I'm actually going to put this on the bottom. Is that okay? I want it actually in like this order. Oh. I can't actually do that. Alright, we're gonna have to figure out this Y sorting problem that we were saying. I don't know what to do with that right now. And that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I need to go get some lunch. I gotta meet... Whoa, buddy. Okay, I just introduced a bug. What did I do? What did I do? Fix that bug real quick, and then I think I'm gonna wrap it up. All I did was rearrange this like twice. And all of a sudden there was like a crazy offset to everything. Oh my god. What happened there? Why is my mouse offset now? All I did was shuffle the order of these nodes and then shuffle them back into place. Cool. Oh well, we'll figure that out. You see the map editor is working perfectly. Exactly, Nix. Exactly. I don't know what I did. I just changed something. Literally all I did was change something, and then I think I changed it back, but I didn't do it with Control Z. I like did it manually, and that was clearly a mistake. Arneo, you have physics process callback jitters. You're gonna have a chicken sandwich and sleep now, though. See, that chicken sandwich sounds good. I'm gonna go find something like that. Did I mix up like the... Yeah, I don't know what I did. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I think I moved something. I think I moved something in space. Oh, no. Apparently not. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? It's for tomorrow. Figure that out for tomorrow. I'm going to wrap things up here. As always, I appreciate everyone, especially everyone on YouTube who's just lurking quietly, just hanging out, chilling with us here during our little game dev streams, our little co-working streams. I hope you're all having a productive day, or you're just chilling if that's what you want to do. Whoever fixes the jitters first buys lunch. All right. Figure that out. Thanks for the stream. No, thank you, Jacob. We'll be back tomorrow. More of the same. I think we'll start working on the getting the volume back, the volumetric, the depth there. And then we'll start working on reintroducing the auto tiling rules, so the outlines. Hopefully y'all have a revelation as soon as you leave the desk. Yeah, I love those sorts of bugs where I'm like, I'm pretty sure I didn't do anything, but I changed the behavior. We'll figure it out. Tonight's my one night without like a game dev co-working session. I have those usually in the evening after work, after dinner. I have those in the evening on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So tonight's actually my one day not to do anything after work. So I can assuredly tell you that I'm just gonna be I'm gonna watch like the new season of Fallout and chill. That's what I'm doing tonight. I'm chilling tonight. But we will be back tomorrow, and we will keep working on this. So close to being back in action. It's quicker. It's happening quicker than I thought. But yeah, we need to be done. We need to be breaking new ground soon. But yeah. The new season's out. Yeah, it is. Let's go check it out. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Yeah. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Maximum warp.